Hey, everybody, Madeleine here to look at the astrology for September of 2025. And boy, what a dramatic month ahead we have. Business will not be as usual as we have two eclipses. We have other transits too, but I think they're going to be dwarfed by these two big eclipses. We have Mercury moving into the sign of Virgo, which will really sharpen our minds. Will be in its exaltation in the sign of Mercury. And then we have Venus going out of Leo into the sign of Virgo, where it is more in debilitation. Well, I'll go into all 12 signs for these. And then we also have Mars moving into Scorpio. So, but I think those transits are not going to be as felt as loud as the eclipses are. We have the two eclipses. The first one is going to be in the sign of Pisces at 15 degrees 22 on the 7th of September. It is the exact same eclipse that we had on that day, same day, 2006. And then we have a second new moon lunar eclipse. The first one is a full moon solar eclipse. This is going to be a new moon solar, sorry, full moon lunar. This is new moon solar on the 21st of September in the sign of Virgo at 29 degrees. So I'm going to go into all the 12 signs for each of these transits, mostly focusing on the eclipses, of course. Now, let's go ahead and look at the first eclipse. I'm going to go ahead and share the chart. I'm outside by the lake enjoying a lovely day outside. I couldn't be inside. Now, this eclipse looks really nice. I don't know if the one in 2006 had the same blessings. I have to go back and look at it, but this promises to be quite a nice eclipse because Jupiter is ruling Pisces. And the North Node is right there, and Jupiter is trining the nodes. And this is like a very auspicious part of the sky. It's also a very spiritual part of the sky. Um, so when Jupiter is making such a favorable aspect to a lunation, it's basically showing us a higher elevated perspective because Jupiter wants to expand our life, wants us to expand our life into the direction of our Dharma, because when we walk our Dharma, we're serving humanity in the way that we were designed to serve humanity. So Jupiter is blessing this eclipse with clarity of purpose and a reinvigoration of faith in the path. And we're with the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo, we're clearing sort of our soul's debris, our mental debris that blocks us from our soul's knowing. And we're really following some sort of not such a clear path because the North Node and the sign of Pisces is also ruled by Neptune, which happens to be very close and also making a very positive aspect in this eclipse, which also blesses it. But this journey with the North Node in Pisces is aligning us with our true soul's essence and to walk a life where our soul's desire, where we're feeding and nurturing the soul, not the material. It is a big eclipse of releasing, because the South Node being in Virgo and full moons are big revelations and show us what we need to let go of. So it can be really challenging sometimes. If it's a relationship that needs to be let go of, it can be very, very painful. But this month will be charged with intense energies and heightened emotions and sudden twists of fate and passions and power plays, because we do have Venus in Leo, so that kind of heightens the passionate energy of this month, of course. But the eclipse will so eclipses basically end things and bring things. Eclipses something out and invite something in new. Eclipses, you see, there's Jupiter in its exaltation, by the way, which is a really good blessing for this eclipse, which makes it extremely abundant. Honestly, the more you let go and flow during this eclipse, the less struggle, trust that it's going to take us somewhere really good. Because here is Jupiter making a beautiful angle to this eclipse. Look at that. It's trining the North Node in the moon. It's a full moon lunar eclipse with Jupiter trining it like a big light saying, this is your Dharma, this is the way to go, this is what you're made for, this will nurture your soul. Leave anything behind that isn't your authentic part of your authentic path and your authentic soul's purpose. So it can come with challenges, but these are really beautiful angles. So I'm going to say we're relieved to let these things go. We're relieved to end these chapters. We're relieved to release this noise in our life. So we're basically clearing a path that takes us in a direction that truly nourishes our soul more and puts us in our true dharmic destiny, because the two things coincide, of course. All right. So that is the first eclipse. I'm going to go into all 12 signs about that. And now let's look at how beautiful that kite goes to the eclipse. So here it is. We're at the tail of the eclipse. So basically, this is untangling that big knot because it's happening at the end degree point of Pisces, or shall we say, it's opposing Saturn at that end degree point, and it's even in the shape of a kite. And here we are with the kite on the material realm, because Virgo um, the Virgo Pisces axis is all about the spiritual versus the material, right? And the practical versus the impractical. So we're going to have this kite configuration blessing us as we let something major go that releases the kite, that releases us from our karmic entanglement. So this is like the final, shall we say, it wouldn't be final because we do have the South Node continuing in Virgo, but this being the eclipse there makes it a big release of something final because it's at 29 degrees. So it's really the end of something. So we're really wrapping an old pattern, an old cycle. Our day-to-day routines are going to completely change. Our health decisions or choices are going to change. We're going to make much more soulful aligned decisions that will improve our health. We're spiritually releasing ourselves from old paradigms and old thinkings and old thoughts, and we're changing them because we're at the end degree point and Saturn is there. So Saturn is telling us, look, we have to devote to something seriously. We have to put all our eggs in this basket and devote to it and treat it like it's a long-term thing, because we have to align with something here that Saturn wants us to align with, but at the same time, we have to release whatever's not a part of that. And we've cleared our karmic behaviors that are causing these patterns. And so, it's like we're untangling ourselves from that karmic knot in order to begin something new that really takes us a whole new cycle, a whole new 29-year cycle. So we're really headed in a new direction here, obviously very big. Now, Jupiter again is making, and again, a very positive aspect to this eclipse. So I think these eclipses are very abundant and very auspicious for everybody. So I'm excited to go through all the 12 signs. All right. I will see you there. All right. Hey, Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising. You guys are having these eclipses in your third and in your ninth house. This is a full moon lunar eclipse. And these eclipses are often associated with endings and karmic lessons and emotional intensity. And they lead to significant releases, making the end of a past version of yourself or the end of a cycle, basically. So, and that is happening in your third house. So, there will come a potential stresses and tension around communication with colleagues, with business partners, or with your online spats, communication, arguments with siblings, perhaps. This is a full moon revelatory eclipse. So you discover something about a truth in communication around some people around you or your siblings, neighbors, and then you have to release something or terminate a relationship or set boundaries. But there's some sort of movement there, and stress is connected to your third house, which is your environment that is around you on a day-to-day basis. But remember, eclipses aren't here to destroy us, but to remove the debris from our lives. And what remains is truly ours. So whatever we're releasing, we could be moving, if you have obviously you have other planets in your chart, but your sun or your moon or whatever could be aspecting. For me, for instance, I'm Cancer rising, but my sun is Saggy, and I usually move on these eclipses because for Sagittarius, it hits the fourth house, Pisces. So for you guys, you're really releasing. It could be that you shift and relocate your environment, and you shift where that is. And remember, these eclipses are aligning you to your true dharmic soul destined, soul fulfilling and nourishing environment or business or people that are working with you on a day-to-day. But also it's social media platforms. So you may be blocking certain people, or you may be deleting an account and starting a complete overthink because you've got overthink starting over there. We're going to have a new moon here in this house later in the month, but we're going to have a full moon in your ninth house where you have some sort of big awakening, some sort of big breakthrough in some sort of belief system and a mind opening, which could alter what you do in your communication factor, your social media platforms, and your blogging, writing, all of that. And then it shifts your message. Your message is going to shift because you get a higher clarity on the second eclipse, which then shifts your message on, sorry, on this, the Pisces eclipse. Sorry, now I get confused. The second eclipse on the 21st is going to shift your perception. And then you're going to have a new beginning there, but it's in the sign of Virgo. So it's connected to communication involved with this new shifted belief system. So, also with Saturn in retrograde, by the way, it's your ruling planet. So, Saturn in retrograde in Pisces at the end degree point where we're really wrapping up a karmic cycle. And this is in your third house. So, it involves siblings, people that are around you, neighbors, communication, the way you speak. You're learning how to speak more empathically. You're changing how you communicate in order to not create karma in your life. So also with that Saturn in retrograde in the sign of Pisces at the end degree point there in your third house, you're going through untangling some sort of big karmic knot, and it's a big lesson, and we're Capricorn, everybody, we're all reflecting on our parts in these karmic entanglements or patterns that are showing up in our lives. So this is a continuation of that in this eclipse, seeing your part in it and sort of transforming your communication skills and your communication, shall we say, karmic karmic causes or karmic troubles that are caused by your lack of discipline in your communication skills. So, and so the Saturn retrograde is causing an internal shift because of that reflection, which then causes big changes that appear to be the eclipse. But these changes on the external world are a result of the internal changes that we're making. And remember, you're ruled by Saturn. So you're making big internal shifts here, which are going to show up in these eclipses as a shift in your reality field. So the third house is about, communication, news, information, media, short trips, social media, verifying facts, learning new information, reading, writing, emails, skills with our hands, our abilities that can make us very well off, some sort of skill, writing skill, making something that makes us, you might see a past life ability coming in and a skill that you can start utilizing to make you really good money. Like you might discover you're a really good writer. What else can be done with the hands? Well, really making anything with the hands. I mean, anything with your ability to build things, make things, create jewelry, play an instrument, start writing. So you decide to get an editor and really sharpen your writing skills and discover that you want to really develop some sort of third house skill more in your dharmic path. So, like I mentioned, eclipses in the third house can bring online arguments and spats. So, it is time to take the chill pill, a chill attitude. And third house eclipses are unexpected news, developments, and involving siblings, neighbors, but also communication opportunity projects for communication or to co-collaborate or to join other people's. You get invited to be on other people's podcasts. It's like busy energy. Oh, but also you're going to want to be really careful about the words you communicate because this can have a long-term effect. And so this is really a cue to shift from small talk and into more meaningful soul dialogue. Capricorn, so the second eclipse in the sign of Virgo at 29 degrees in your ninth house at that end degree point is kind of a crisis point, but there's a crisis in faith and belief in something. And new moon eclipses new moon solar eclipses symbolize new beginnings. And it's like a reset and it's like a breakthrough. And they're seen as opportunities for new intentions and personal growth and encouraging individuals to gather their self and start fresh. And especially since it's in the sign of Virgo, we're really looking at pulling our act together in some big, bold way. That ninth house is about a restoration of faith. So this eclipse is going to bring a revelation about your belief system and spiritual path or education direction. This is about breaking free from mental cages and embracing a higher truth and letting go of old beliefs and ego-based attachments to certain beliefs. See, this is about opening your mind and seeing something new, a new truth that changes your outlook. And then that changes your path in life. It's going to alter your path in life. That's how these ninth house eclipses change our lives, is by shifting our perceptions. So, yeah, faith, belief, and life direction are under spiritual pressure. You're feeling it. You may feel disconnected from your guru or question your path altogether, but that's growth. You're not losing your truth. You're evolving. You're evolving into a higher, you're developing a next step of higher consciousness knowledge and something that's practical and applicable. And you're trying to bridge the two worlds with that Virgo Pisces and bring in some sort of practical new way of delivering this information, which again is involving that third house first eclipse. There, you feel one eclipse, I think 3 weeks before, and each eclipse about 3 weeks to a month before and after, but they really play out in 6 months. So that they do blend. So, yeah, so this is a perfect time to revisit sacred texts, rewrite your philosophy, or teach from a living experience. Sort of apply your philosophy, your beliefs into a practical living experience that you really sort of integrate the learnings and the teachings more so that you then can teach from a integrated place, from your own experience. New beginnings in travel may come with realizations. Your truth is no longer borrowed, it becomes your own. So, yeah, you could suddenly travel to in this eclipse, and you have these sort of if you're traveling during this eclipse, you're going to have some big cultural realization where it really, really transforms you in the experience of travel. That's a very eclipse experience, and you have sort of a new wisdom through the other cultures you learn. So you have these sort of truth revelations that make you no longer borrowing other people's truth, but it becomes your own now. You're really integrating these lessons. And it's time to sort of let go of blind belief and sort of walk your unique dharma, because that ninth house is your dharmic path. There's sort of that clarity of how to practically apply your dharmic path here. New beginning, new starts, new ideas. So, and dirt is being cleared from your consciousness with that north node in Pisces, that south, with that north node in your third house. You're sort of clearing mental debris, and that south node in your ninth. It's like clearing your mental debris so you have clarity. And that Saturn in retrograde, by the way, in retrograde is about finding clarity on what you truly want to build here. And this is your ruling planet. So the Saturn retrograde is impacting you very strong. So, yeah, so you're really reflecting with that Saturn retro on what you truly want to begin, but this new moon brings clarity on that. And so, yeah, so this solar eclipse on the 21st is a cosmic reset, making new beginnings and demanding bold new decisions, taking big risks, leaping out, taking your beliefs forward and underscoring them with practical applications and ways that you can serve, because Virgo is a serving energy, that you can serve with these new truths, new discoveries, new visions, new ideas, and a practical approach to how you can serve people and help elevate consciousness in the collective. So, releasing old belief systems, stepping bolder into the new ones, or boldly seeing higher truths about your own beliefs and seeing how powerful and true they are, because that has happened to me, and stepping even more into that purpose. So the other thing I want to talk about really quick is that Mercury will also be in your third house there. It is currently, I'm sorry, in your ninth house, sharpening your mind, giving you a lot of clarity and ideas, again, around communication projects on this eclipse in your ninth. So you're going to be getting a lot of ideas and perhaps being very busy, traveling, short distance travel. And then Venus in Leo is where is Venus in Leo for Capricorn? Where is Venus in Leo? I think that's your 10th, oh no, your 11th, 8th house. So there could be passionate intimacy occurring for you guys in the 8th house. All right, stay safe traveling, Virgo. If you have travel plans, stay open to them shifting because eclipses can often change travel plans. But most of all, stay safe. Have a wonderful month. And if you would like a personal reading, feel free to book on my soullevels.com website or email me at madeleineparker.com and I will put you on my monthly astro email list. All right, have a wonderful month. Namaste.